My son loves being part of the choir and learns the music. And he really also likes being part of this larger group. Because in the choir, it's not just one person. It's, all these kids have to come together to be able to work in harmony to create great music. It requires a lot of dedication and time and focus. Much like our lab, we have to spend a lot of time practicing, and our practice is working in the lab. And during that time, we're learning and we're optimizing experiments. And when trainees are in the lab and they're working, all of these things have to come together to ultimately make a larger story. As a kid, when I used to get new toys, I would take them apart to try to understand how they worked. And this was really frustrating for my parents because every new toy that we got, we destroyed. And that's something that I think that's carried on to the research that we do now in trying to understand the basic mechanisms of how cells work and trying to develop a deeper understanding so that we can do some good with that knowledge. One of the challenges with type 2 diabetes is that your body generates insulin, but the insulin doesn't work as well. And so what that results in is higher glucose levels because that insulin isn't working as it usually does. We have different types of fat cells. There are white fat cells that store energy, and these are the cells that you associate with obesity. And there are other types of fat cells that are highly metabolic. They're thermogenic, so they generate heat. These are called brown fat cells and beige fat cells. And they metabolize sugar. And because of that, we want to be able to capitalize on that. We're hoping that some of the molecules that we identify could ultimately be used for treating diabetes. The research environment at the University of Utah is outstanding. We have tremendous resources to do cutting-edge research that gives us a real advantage over other places. And because we have such outstanding faculty and resources, we can really do outstanding science. And being in an environment where you're at the cutting edge is a great place to be, because if there are other individuals that are doing cutting-edge research, that we've created an environment where others can come in and do the same. One of the great things about being a scientist is that you get to make new discoveries. We get paid for this, right? To be able to tinker in a lab and find something new. And you're the first person to be able to make that observation and that discovery. And that discovery can really have a broad impact. I do think about the suffering that patients have to endure. And if we can improve the quality of life of patients that are suffering from diabetes, then I feel like I would have made a big impact. Getting to listen to the choir creates an opportunity to create some clarity. And during that time, you're able to focus on the music and you start listening very closely. You can hear these different voices coming together at different times and sometimes all together. We see that in the lab as well, where there are individuals in the lab that are working on different projects. Together, these individuals have to work in an environment to create a sort of a masterpiece.